let's discuss something very important here. Your habits, your eating habits. Right now, before even getting further into this video, think of your eating habits right now, all of them. Well, in this video, I'm going to discuss the bad eating habits you need to avoid. This is important because a lot of people don't realize how bad their eating habits are, which is why they feel overweight, lethargic, they're always inflamed, just all from the processed junk they're eating. This video we're going to talk about bad eating habits you need to avoid. Even if you have one of these I'm going to mention, or you have a combination of a couple, that's okay. I just want you to be self-aware. Because what happens is we tend to be a little bit, what's fascinating about with us, with our behaviors, is that they're almost automatic. You wake up, you brush your teeth, etc. The same goes with your eating. You don't realize how much you're causing harm to yourself with these bad eating habits. So let's go ahead and talk about these habits. And before we do that, Joe, guys, please subscribe to Fitness Psychology here, because this is where I discuss all the topics with mindset, nutrition, and fitness, because these are the lifestyle habits you're gonna need to build to become more confident and healthy with yourself. So let's go ahead and jump into this on bad eating habits you need to avoid. It truly is amazing to me how just habits do form, your lifestyle. And I probably mentioned habits a million times already, but it is just fascinating how they put us on autopilot. But the first habit here I want to discuss, guys, with you need to avoid is you're probably skipping meals. Now, you might be thinking, okay, well, hold on, wait, Butch, there is fasting that people tend to do and have a lot of success with. Well, I agree, because I do fasting a lot with my regimen, and I've seen great results from it. However, though, we want to discuss the bad side of this part, though, in this video. I'll go into fasting into other videos because there's a ton of benefits behind it. But, so you're skipping meals. The problem is when you're skipping meals is that, okay, you're skipping meals, and then what happens, you start to get hungry, and that builds up, right? And then you might end up binging, or you're snacking on just junk food and processed food. You gotta be careful of this, guys. When you're skipping meals, you're also slowing down your metabolism, because what happens is your metabolism is burning like this, and then since you're not fueling it calories, right, it starts to go into survival mode. So it slows down. So make sure you're not skipping meals here. Even if you can just eat something really small that's really healthy, like, some almonds, a fruit, apple, whatever it is, carrots, something small, but make sure you're just not skipping meals, because it can just lead to a road of binging that we'll discuss here later on in the video. All right, the second habit I want to discuss here that you need to avoid with eating is you are eating too fast. This is a problem, guys, because when you're eating too fast, what happens is your brain doesn't have time to signal to you that, hey, we're full, man. We're getting to the point where we can't consume anymore. But instead, you're just eating so fast that you're not even chewing correctly or taking your time, that you're just gonna consume a bunch of extra calories, and that's not good. So even if you just take your time just a little bit with your eating, you'll actually see some results here for sure, because what's gonna happen is your body's gonna signal to you that, all right, we're pretty full here. So even if you just pump the brakes a little bit with your eating, like pick up your fork, eat, set it down, chew, swallow, and then repeat. Take your time. All right, so that's the second one. The third bad habit here that I want you to avoid, guys, is overeating, AKA binging. Like I mentioned with the first habit you want to avoid, which was skipping meals, what happens is if you skip meals, you might end up binging in most cases. And you're gonna be overeating, and we just know that's bad because we have a hard time controlling our portion size. A lot of people don't realize portion at all. A lot of people don't. Portions are actually a lot smaller than people think. So even let's say if you are getting a salad, but if you're putting a crap load of dressing on it, that's going to spike the calorie count tenfold. But anyways, you just want to make sure you're not overeating. So again, going back to the second habit, you're eating too fast. So all this kind of combines together really, guys, but just bear in mind and be aware that, you could be potentially eating too much. The fourth bad habit that you need to avoid when it comes to eating is you're eating late at night. This one's pretty interesting because, this tends to happen because we're stressed or we're bored. You had a tough day at work, you had to deal with an annoying coworker, whatever it is, right? And then you just eat at night because you're watching Netflix, whatever the case is. So be aware of that again, guys, that you're eating late at night. That's a bad habit you want to avoid, because what happens is when you eat late at night, that disrupts your sleep because you're going to bed with like a very full stomach, and your body has to metabolize all that stuff without giving yourself proper rest. So avoid eating late at night. Give yourself a time window to stop eating. Make sure it's anywhere between 2 to 3 hours before you go to bed. All right, the fifth habit that I want you guys to avoid here when it comes to eating is you're consuming processed food. Processed food is everywhere now. It's bad, but you want to avoid eating processed food. And when you look at like maybe the label of something, and there's just 1,000 ingredients that you can't even read or pronounce, you want to avoid that. That's processed food. What's wrong with processed food is that there's all these preservatives and artificial flavors thrown into them and mixed. What happens is when you consume that, it's not natural for your body. And what happens, it causes a lot of inflammation, so your body's trying to fight it. Well, that can lead to chronic diseases and other health issues down the road if you are continually eating processed food. So guys, you want to avoid eating processed food as much as possible. Stick with the whole foods. Your fruits, your vegetables, your lean proteins, your healthy fats. And when you do that, your body's gonna feel fantastic. You're gonna feel refreshed. But when you eat processed food all the time, you're not getting the proper nutrients and minerals and vitamins that your body needs to function. That's why you feel like crap, because you're eating processed food all the time. But anyways, guys, those are five bad food habits that you need to avoid in order to be healthy. And let me know down below, what's the number one habit here that I list that you guys are doing right now that you think is bad and that you need to change? Because even if, again, like I mentioned, if you change just one of these habits that I listed, the processed food, eating late at night, skipping meals, eating too fast, if you even just skip out on one of those and avoid them, you'll see some good results down the road. But let me know, guys, what's a habit here that you want to avoid? Also, thank you again for watching this video. And guys, please subscribe, share this, like it, and I will see you guys on the next one.